Hi, Michael here again. Welcome to step one of the Aspire Startup Steps. Now, in this step is probably one of my favorite topics because it changed everything for me when I first got started. I'm going to show you how to build a six-figure digital business in 90 days from scratch, just the way I did. I was able to get to, when I first got started in this space, in this industry, using the Ascension business model, which I'm going to talk about here over the next few steps. It changed everything for me. It took me from making 5-10 grand a month to making 25 and then 50, and then I got to over $100,000 a month. Now I know those sound like big numbers to you, but I'll tell you that it was absolutely 100% true when I got started about 10 years, almost 12 years ago now, in the early 2000s, and it took me to a whole nother level. And you have so many other tools and resources and platforms and leverage points that I never had to get to the next level very quickly. So I know I can do the same for you by teaching you this. So I look forward to getting into this with step one here. So let's do it, and I'll see you on the inside of step one. Hello, Michael Force here again. Welcome to step one of our startup steps here. I want to welcome you to this step here. In this step, you're going to show you exactly how to make six figures in 90 days or less with top-tier direct sales business model. We are now at the beginning of your startup steps. I want to make sure that you get the maximum value out of this so you can actually go and apply it and get real results and start making real money and real sales. So let's dig in. Today, we officially begin your journey. The very first thing we're going to go over is what a top-tier business actually is and why you want one, and in my opinion, why you need one if you want to change your life. In my view, you have a lot of choices when it comes to internet marketing, online marketing, but top-tier is the only one for me, and it's the one that's paid me more than any other business model online. And I'll explain why that is here in this step. Now, in this business model, it'll take you to 6- and 7-figure income in a much shorter period of time than most any other online businesses or systems will and or do. As soon as you'll soon see, it's really the best choice for you too. The commissions are bigger, it's easier, you don't need as many customers, and you have much bigger profits per customer. So let's break it down. Now, first and foremost, your time is precious, and we have made every effort to provide you with value in a condensed and easy to understand format. While the main training videos are usually going to be around 10 to 30 minutes each, some of the steps, especially in the beginning, those first few steps, have some additional supporting videos and or links, PDFs and or information below. So they require a little extra time, but I can tell you that it's worth it. Those videos are here to help you to gain a deeper understanding. Set aside some time. Make sure that you are focused and not distracted. Find a place that has minimal distractions so you can really absorb this information and let it sink in. Let's dive in and get started now. Let's set a first few rules in place, though, to make sure that you'll actually get results. Let me tell you something actually very interesting that'll probably surprise you. Since we released this program, we have actually had quite a number of people go through this training, literally tens of thousands, in fact. Now, what's interesting is that I can look up the stats and I can always see how many people completed step 1, step 2, right up to all of our final steps, okay? Now, what we've actually discovered is that most people never even finish their steps, and that's just how people are. It's the 80-20 rule. Some people never even get started. Some people never even get close. Some people even never even begin. If you're actually here right now listening to my voice, you are far ahead of the average person. A lot of people don't even get beyond step 10. It's just human nature. Think about the ab cruncher. Someone sees it on at night, they want great abs, they order it, and they're ready to get great abs. It shows up on their doorstep, they do a couple ab crunches and go, "Ooh, that hurts," and they give up and throw it in the closet or the garage and never see it again. And of course, they never get abs. But if they actually took time and took the 10 minutes out a day to actually do those ab crunches, they would have abs right now and they'd have the results they're looking for. It's no different here with this system and or program online. Is that if you do the work, you're going to get the results. It's just that simple. It's a simple math equation. Now, I'm telling you this because if you want to get results in business and in life, and you want to be in the top 5% where you're getting most of the results, you've got to be willing to do what most aren't willing to do. Putting aside 30 to 60 minutes a day to go through one step per day, most people aren't even willing to do that, which is a sad shame to change their life. I can tell you that if they do that, some will do it for 2, 3, 4 days, some will do, for a little bit, but I want you to commit to this program. I want you to commit that you're going to set aside the time each and every day, going through and complete Every single step that you're going to watch, all the videos that we tell you to, every single video and every single step is all there for a purpose. There's nothing accidental. It's all been designed to allow you to learn this business so you can actually go out and get real results. Go through a step a day if you can. And each step, they're going to go for different amounts of time. Some will be shorter, some will be longer. Some will be very short. But also in each step, we're going to have additional videos that you can watch. Now, if you, again, want to get the most results, go the extra mile and watch those extra videos. I can tell you from experience, and having been at the 7- and 8-figure level for the last 15 years, there are no traffic jams along the extra mile. Now that basically is a metaphor for that most people don't go the extra mile. Most people won't go the distance. Make yourself different. If you want different results, if you want to be in the top 1%, 5%, or top 20% of the world in income, you got to be willing to do what no one else is willing to do. That's what I did, and it changed my life. I know you can do the same. So let's get into it. Now, as you go through these steps, you're going to learn that our system and program really allows you to have a business running at full steam after your first few weeks, and eventually on near autopilot after more than 30 days, making money for you automatically. That leverage point that I talked about in the last step, having some automation to be able to spend the time with most people you care about, okay? To have a business that runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week around the world, so you can stop trading time for money. You can stop getting your hands dirty to put dollars in your pocket, and you can actually get real results that bring you income into your bank account. I mean, that's the goal. The goal is total time freedom. That's really what we're in this business for, right? The idea of having a business that has systems in place that do most of the work for us. So we simply have to monitor it, make slight adjustments. But the system is doing the majority of the work. That's just good business. That's just what most successful people do. Now, here's what you're going to learn in this step. Let me break it down here for you, okay? You're going to learn how any newbie can build a 6-figure digital business in 90 days or less with Top Tier. You're also going to learn the math, the spreadsheets behind what it takes to create a real online top-tier income. I'll break it down for you. You'll also learn how to create a real business plan based on logic and results versus hype and hope, which you're probably seeing all over the internet. There's all kinds of systems and things that are promising you all kinds of unrealistic stuff. But I can tell you, we're going to keep it real here for you. We're going to break it down and give you the real deal so you are clear and you know what you got to do to get the results you want. We're also going to break down what are the 5 essential elements of any online business's success. We're also going to show you why this business model is easier and more lucrative than an offline business, like a franchise or a mom and pop business or a brick and mortar business. I'm also going to show you how a former U.S. Marine has averaged 7 figures a year for the last 15 years using Top Tier. I know you'd like that kind of consistency in your income, and it's absolutely possible. I'm living proof of it, that you can do it for decades to come. But I can tell you first, I was just like you. As I mentioned in my last video, I was a former U.S. Marine, just getting out of the United States Marine Corps after giving back to our country, as my mom and dad did, as my grandparents and aunts and uncles. And after I got out of the United States Marine Corps, I got to travel the world, and I got to see a lot of things. But the advent of the internet was coming online, and people were making money hand over fist in the late 90s, as we all remember, before the bubble burst. But now we've seen it even out and level out, and we've seen it, people continually make money. 20-year-olds, there's 12-year-olds making $100,000 a month on YouTube and crazy things. There's all kinds of stuff that's going on out there. And I can tell you, when I got online, I went through the School of Hard Knocks and trial and error after United States Marine Corps, and I went through this, I tried everything under the sun. I spent more money than I would like to admit to, but everything has a cost. Education. You spent 2, 4, 6, 8 years in college to make $50,000 a year, right? So online is going to have a cost too. There's going to be a cost to educating yourself on how to start or how to learn an online business, okay? But I was willing to pay that price, and I did, and now it changed my life. And now I've been married 20 years. We got married young, my wife and I, at 19, but we waited a few years, and then we had kids, and we have 2 beautiful daughters now, and now we get to live the life of our dreams, so travel the world. This picture was taken in the south of France on the beach. Take my girls there every single summer. We spend a month in the south of France every single summer, and we do all the things that families love to do and want to do. Spend time with each other and travel around and give new experiences. And I can tell you that the way I also do that is part of the traveling and the things that I love to do is also coaching and training. Picture of me here in Las Vegas training, I think about 5,000 people in that room that day, but I've trained tens of thousands online over the last 15, 20 years, and I've also trained them offline, one-on-one. I've trained them in groups of 10, 20, 100, up to 5,000 people in a room, 1,000 people in a room. I've done it all when it comes to training, coaching, teaching. I've been a speaker for many, many years, and it's one of my passions. I love to train, teach, coach, and I've done it all over the world, and I'll continue to do it for the rest of my life. It's my passion to really see people get results, to see them take them from where they are and really get them to take flight and change their life. Brings me to tears. You'll see at some of our events. We also do live events as a part of our program, and we do local, and you'll see all that kind of stuff. And I'll probably meet you in person. And I can tell you that it's very impactful to be able to hear the stories and see the lives impacted and changed. And it's one of my passions, and I love to do it. I've personally consulted, trained, mentored, or worked with the top 3% of the industry leaders and company owners here over the last 15 years in this industry as well. And it's been a great pleasure to be able to see people who were newbies 3 years ago and now making 6 and 7 figures, some even 8 figures now online. People that are still message me, still send me an email years later and said, hey, I learned something from you online, or gold nugget, or you were the first experience I had coming online and it changed everything for me. That is huge. And I can tell you that it's what drives me. It's what lights my fire inside to be able to coach and train and teach people one-on-one. And also one-on-many, webinars, training, coaches, videos like this. I've been doing it for years and I absolutely love it. So this industry changed my life, and I know it has allowed me to travel and really live the life of my dreams. My wife and I have been all over the world, from the Caribbean to Africa to the Mediterranean to Rome to Italy to every country in Europe, nearly every state in America, Canada, Mexico, the South Pacific, China, Asia. I mean, just all over the world here, Greece and everywhere in between, Monaco. We've been obviously to Italy a number of times, London, England, all over the world, the Caribbean, all over the Caribbean, every island there, Paris, of course. And I can tell you that it has really changed everything for us, but what's more important is that it's the beginning of a new and exciting journey for you. I want you to take each one of these steps very seriously. Take the time to read them and go through them in detail. Read through them a couple times if you need to. Make sure you complete the required steps each day. Reach out to your coach and let them know what you're learning. Any aha moments, something you need help better understanding. We want to know. As you progress through these steps, you'll discover that our system really allows you to have your own business up and running and rolling here in the next couple of weeks. So let's work together and get you that freedom that you're really looking for here. So let's jump into it. So first and foremost, I want to explain to you how an offline business works. Most of you are familiar with this. If you're not, I can tell you that it's very simple. You just need people to walk by your store, what we call traffic, okay? Foot traffic, people traffic, whatever you want to call it. They need to see your advertisements. They need to either walk by or drive by your store, walk into your McDonald's, look at the menu, they buy something, you deliver it, and you make a profit. That's just the simplicity of an offline business. Now, the beauty is that it's really no different online, okay? An online business is very similar. You have traffic. People are clicking around on websites and links and Googling things and going on Facebook and jumping around. Each time someone clicks on something, that makes them turn into traffic, okay? And the more people you get which are traffic to your store, which in this case is a website. So McDonald's is a physical store, a website is a virtual store. So a virtual store, they click on your website, they see the menu, they see what you're offering, and then they buy it and you deliver it, and then you make a profit. It's the same exact process. The only difference is virtual, and then it becomes physical. And in some cases, it's not even physical, because in this day and age, we are living in a digital information age. Okay, there are a lot of products, millions and millions of products that are all in digital format now. Think about all the books, all the music, all the education, all the training, all the tutorials, all the videos, everything that you see out there. People are buying more information online than they have ever bought since the history of time. Okay. Last year, e-learning alone was a $100 billion a year industry. In corporate training, it was a $200 billion a year industry. Think about all the books and the music, tens of billions of dollars, okay? are out there. People are buying more information online than they ever have now. Okay, and all that is also turning into e-learning. We've all spent 2, 4, 6, 8 years in college, $100,000, $50,000 or more to get a degree or a master's degree, to go out and make $50,000 or $75,000, maybe even $100,000 a year. Okay, but now all of that information is coming online now. You know, Harvard and University of Phoenix and everything in between is doing online tutorials and trainings now. Everybody's being trained and coached and learning online. People are spending more money to buy information products now than they ever have. More people buy information online than any other product, more than jeans or glasses or anything. People buy digital information online more than they buy anything online. And that's an incredibly powerful trend and opportunity for you that I'm going to break down here in a few minutes. Okay, expertise has value. Okay, selling expertise has been happening since the beginning of time. Okay, now what we're going to break down here for you real quickly is all 5 of the essential elements of an online business success, and they are all ready for you to plug into after you've completed setting up the basics here. But let's get into the basics. Okay, what are the 5 elements of online success? Well, first one is traffic, as I mentioned. The more people you get to your website, the more products you sell. The more products you sell, the more profit you make. That's the simple equation. Okay, analytics like you see in front of you here from Google, show that you can get traffic all over the world: the United States, United Kingdom, India, Canada, Germany, France, and beyond. Breaks down all the traffic, whether it comes from paid traffic, organic traffic, referral traffic, direct traffic, email traffic, so on and so forth. There's a lot of ways for people to get to your website, and because you're just beginning, I'm not going to get into all of them, but there are some basic strategies to get people to your website, and we'll help you through that, and so you can learn. And the more people, like I said, you get to your website, the more money you make. Like I said, there are 12-year-olds out there making $100,000 a month. There's teenagers making $1 million a month, by getting so much traffic to their YouTube videos or Google or websites or Facebook, whatever it is. They are adding value, okay, and people are coming and they are getting paid. That's the simplicity of it. That's traffic. Okay, number two. Number 2 is a funnel. Okay, a funnel is, there's a number of words for it: filter, funnel, there's all kinds of things for it, but you've been walking through them your whole life, whether you really knew it or not. Now, go to Disney World, there's a reason why you're corralled through all these kind of things and you end up in the gift shop, right? They want you to spend money. They want you to pull out your wallet and swipe your credit card, okay? It's been happening at the grocery store your entire life. You ever wondered why the eggs and the milk and the meat are all in the back of the store? Because they want you to walk through all the aisles where all the expensive processed food is, okay? It's more profitable. So that's why they want you to walk through it. That's why they put all that stuff in the back. Okay, there's a number of different things. You ever get an offer for a free teeth cleaning, walk out with a root canal? We've seen it. You ever go buy an iPhone and next thing you know, you're buying an iMac or a MacBook Pro, or you're subscribing to iTunes and buying music and movies? That's all a funnel. That's all designed to essentially pull your wallet out of your pocket and start swiping. We've all been walking through them our entire lives, whether we knew it or not. Okay, they create the awareness, then the interest, then the decision and the action. That is a sales funnel. Online, you see it mostly as websites. Okay, a series of pages or websites that will take you through a process. Think about Amazon. When you go through, you keep going from one page to the next page to the next page. Then they're grabbing other products and saying, hey, you might like this, you might like this, you might like that. And then you go buy it and you add a couple of things into your cart, and the next thing you know, those ads are following you all around the internet, right? That's all retargeting. Okay, it's all part of a process of marketing to get you to buy more. That's a funnel. Okay, very powerful. Now, the third one is a filter. A filter is once they've come through the funnel, okay, as a lead, or what we call a name and email address, then they turn into a prospect, okay? Then they turn into a customer, and that customer turns into sales. So it's always good to have a filter as people walk through. Think about, when you're walking through the mall, for example. A great example to filter that is how many stores are in the mall. There's lots of people walking through the mall, but not everybody walks into every single store, right? So as soon as someone walks into your store, they become a lead. As soon as they pick up a shirt and someone asks, may I help you? They become a prospect. As soon as they get the help and go try it on and they like it, they become a customer. And then once they become a customer, they give you their money, and now you make sales, okay? It's no different. There's a filter. There's a process, okay? Great example of the mall is another sales funnel. There's a reason why it all smells so good and looks so nice in the front of the store. And a lot of some stores, even gambling institutions in Vegas, they pump oxygen into the thing and do all kinds of other stuff to get you excited and get you pumped up so you feel good and you're willing to spend more money. That's all part of the funnel and filter for Fortune 500 companies on down to essentially generate sales. So what's number 4? Number 4 is follow-up. If you've never heard the term fortune is in the follow-up, that's what CRMs are for. CRMs are a customer relationship management tool. Okay, Salesforce.com, multi-billion-dollar company, because all the Fortune 500 companies need to track their customers, their clients, their database. They need to make sure that they're following up and generating sales through that process. So the fortune is in the follow-up. You can use email, you can use phone, you can use text. There's a number of ways to follow up, retargeting, advertising, all kinds of other ways to follow up. But that is one of the key elements to online success, is follow up. Okay, very, very powerful and very, very key. Now, what's number 5 here? Well, that's tiered products, okay? Having a tiered product mix or an ascension product mix, there's a number of different names for it, but ultimately every Fortune 500 company on down uses it, and you're probably pretty used to it, okay? We've all been upgraded, we've all been taken to the next level when it comes to products, and rightly so. I mean, I'm happy to be upgraded at any time because I know that I'm just going to get more and more quality the higher I go. I'm going to get better and better and better, right? So when I get an iPhone, you know, they get me in with the iPhone for a couple $100. Next thing you know, I want an iPad. Next thing you know, I want a MacBook Pro. Next thing you know, I want a 27-inch iMac. Why don't I want all those things? Of course I do. I love all those things. In fact, I'm a Apple guy. Have been since the late 90s, long before the huge rush that we saw here. But I'm naturally an early adopter. I love technology. I love things that are just coming out. So I was an Apple guy long before. But I'll tell you that, well, it makes perfect sense why they have a tiered product mix. Why they get you in with the iPhone. Next thing you know, you're signing up for iTunes. You're signing up to buy music and movies, and you know you're getting your iPad. And your kids are downloading games, and you got apps and mobile apps, and you know you got all the other tools and resources and software and all that stuff's all integrated. It's all monetized for them. One of the reasons why they're one of the wealthiest companies in the world. Literally tens of billions, $100 billion a year company. It's just crazy numbers. But that's because of a tiered product mix. So meaning that, you know, there's upgrades and there's upsells. You want that. That's a good thing. Okay, that means it's more profitable. Imagine if they only sold the iPhone. They wouldn't be a $100 billion a year company. But because they sell the iPad, the iMac, the MacBook Pro, and all the software and everything in between at every different price point you can imagine, that's the reason they're a $100 billion a year company. That's exactly what you want in your business. You don't want to just sell an iPhone when you can sell all this other stuff too, right? That's the key to profitability. That's the key to really making money. And a lot of online businesses don't do that correctly. They just want to sell jeans, or they just want to sell sunglasses, and they think they're going to make millions. But they actually need a tiered product mix for every potential customer's price point, because there are customers that can't afford a 27-inch iMac, but there are a percentage of customers that can. So why wouldn't you offer it? Same with the MacBook Pro, $1,500 product. Some people can't afford it, but some people can. So why not offer it? Same with the iPad. Okay, some people can't afford it, but some people can. So why not offer it? That's the key. So now, I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page here. Let's start by defining what exactly top tier is. What is top tier direct sales? And it's a term that gets thrown around a lot. Often it's by people who don't really know what it is. Now we're going to talk about exactly what it is, why it's a must in today's economy, and what are the pros and cons of different systems available out there. Let's break it down. Top tier is basically a fancy term or word for a system that sells high-ticket products or services rather than depending upon just low-ticket products with a high volume to make decent money or decent sales. With top tier, it's possible to make more in a day than you would in an entire year in residuals and other similar businesses selling low-ticket items, whether it be on Amazon or whether you're a network marketing company selling lotions, potions, pills, or juices, or whether you're selling sunglasses or jeans or whatever it is online. If your price point's below $100, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Okay, you need a tiered product mix, and that's what top tier is, and we're going to break it down here for you. Now, think for a minute of how much money you would need before you could quit your job. Now, this is a really important number to know because that's the goal. Chances are, if you're working in a job right now, maybe you like your job, maybe you don't, but chances are you would rather be working from home, working on your own schedule, and having a business that does most of the work for you. Now, how do you make that a reality? Well, first of all, what's your target? How much do you need to be making per month, per day, to be able to go to your boss and say, hey, no, thank you, I'm going home, okay? Because I don't want to work here anymore. Let's say, for example, that was $5,000 a month. Then what would you want to do? So let's break it down. Take out a calculator, do this right now. Work out how much you need to be making per month and what that number works out to be per day. 5K a month works out to be just under $167 per day. Let's pretend that's your goal for the sake of this instructional purpose. Now, here's an example of a traditional non-top tier or low ticket offer. Okay, let's say that you had a traditional non-top tier marketing system or program, some online business that would only make $4 a sale. Okay, for you to make $5,000 a month, let's just say the $4 is profit. Okay, so that's the money that you take home. Now, to make $5,000 a month, you're going to have to make 1,250 sales of that $4 product. If you had, say, another product that was, say, $7, okay, you'd have to make 714. If you had a product that was $47, you'd have to make 106 sales, okay? You can do the math there, and you can pause this video and take notes if you like, but I can tell you that you have to make a lot of sales to make $5,000 a month with a low-ticket offer. Now, on the other hand, with a top-tier system, okay, if you want to make $5,000 a month and say you had a product that sells for $1,000, okay, you'd only need to make 5 sales to make your goal. Okay, if you had a product that, say, paid you $3,000 in profit, you'd only need to make 2, and you'd have an extra $1,000 in profit. If you had a product, say, that sold for $5,000, you'd only have to make 1 sale a month to reach your goal. If you had a product that paid you $9,000, then you would only, again, need 1 sale, but you'd take home an extra $4,000 in profit. That is the power of a top-tier system like we have here. Now, a lot of people, when they hear about a top-tier business, they think, well, isn't it harder to sell a $9,000 product than it is to sell a $1,000 product? Well, that's not necessarily the case, and not at all. In this training, you're going to learn how to do it on a consistent basis and in a very leveraged way. You're also going to get the option to have someone else do the phone sales for you. As I said in my last videos, phone sales and support is done for you. If you want to pick up the phone and make sales, you don't have to. You can actually leverage our team, our phone sales team. The top-tier business model is not one that a lot of people know about, but it's behind some of the most successful businesses online, as I already proved with Apple and on down, also offline. For example, let's think about it in this way. Let's say that you were the owner of a company and you were selling hamburgers like McDonald's, but pretend that your burgers tasted much better. There's your burger and there's McDonald's cheeseburger. Now you want to make as much money as possible, as fast as possible with your hamburger shop, right? Well, what else are you going to do? Which way do you think you can get there faster? Okay, you can sell 1 million burgers at your burger shop. Let's just pretend that you sold them for $1. So they were cheap burgers. Let's just say that you sold 1 million burgers at $1 each. There's your $1 million. The other option is, let's say you did create a franchise around your burger business, like McDonald's did. You actually went out and sold a franchise to someone who wanted to be in business for themselves, and they paid you $1 million for that because you had the entire hamburger system set up. You had all the marketing in place, the system. They could just plug into the system and start using the system to get results immediately. Now that's worth a lot of money. Let's say they paid you $1 million for that. What do you think is going to be easier? Selling 1 million hamburgers from scratch or creating a system? Really, it's almost like a business in a box, a franchise that someone can actually purchase and it's all set up for them. What do you think is going to make you $1 million faster? Selling 1 million burgers or selling 1 franchise? Now, what we're looking at here, this image below shows all the McDonald's in the United States alone, not including the rest around the world, most of them being owned by a franchisee. Now, why do you think that someone's going to spend that type of money? Hundreds of thousands of dollars, or let's pretend $1 million, just to open their own hamburger business. Like I said before, it's because of systems. It's because of leverage. With a franchise, you get a guaranteed system that is proven to work. It's proven to work because other people have actually made it work. You just have to plug into the system and you're much more likely to get results than a normal business that doesn't have a pre-existing system in place. So let's talk about leverage for a second. With a McDonald's, if you buy a McDonald's franchise, you're getting to leverage their billion-dollar brand. You get the leverage off of their advertising campaigns. For example, when you see the McDonald's commercial on television, if you're in business of selling McDonald's, then that's going to help you. You get their proven products. You have their funnels in place. Yes, even McDonald's has sales funnels. That's why McDonald's can sell so many of their franchises, because it's basically a business wealth in a box, as long as you can afford to actually buy in. If you go it alone and you're just selling hamburgers at a few dollars a pop and you don't have any system and process in place, it's going to be very hard to scale up your business, right? I'll ask you again, what do you think is going to be easier to sell? 1 million burgers or just one franchise? It'd take you a lot longer and would be a lot harder to sell 1 million burgers. On the other hand, there's a lot of people looking to start their own restaurant, their own business. They want a proven system. They don't want to go and try and build this from scratch, spend all of this money trying to figure it out for themselves and have there be a good chance that they're going to fail. They'd much rather plug into a system. The odds are very good that if you have a proven system like McDonald's in place, you're going to be able to easily sell a new franchise with minimal effort, especially when you're trained on how to attract these people to your business and your company. Buy the business. The odds are very good that if you have a proven system like McDonald's in place, that it's going to be quite easy, relatively easily, to sell a few franchises at a lot less effort, especially if you get the training on how to do that by the head of the company. Okay? If they show you how to do it and they show you how they've been doing it for years, chances are you'll be able to do the same thing. We've seen that, of course, in our own businesses. We've sold many thousands of courses online and they cost just under $10. We have, for example, an ebook that sells for $9.95. We've sold many of them. If you add that revenue we make from selling that $9.95 book, it's a very, very small percentage of our overall profits. But, for example, this training program is really good and it's well worth over $49. If we wanted to, we could easily increase the price, but we'd still be dealing with only nickels and dimes. The reason why we're successful as a company is because of top-tier, high-ticket offers. With us, you have something much more powerful using this sort of business model than we've created, especially if you don't have the option to go and buy a franchise, something like a McDonald's for $1 million. Okay? That is much easier to get plugged into. You see, even McDonald's has its drawbacks. It's a great business model. But being a physical business, they've got a lot of overhead to consider. They've got rent, employees, space, inventory, insurance, payroll. You've got to get involved. Okay? All of this. You've got to pay a manager a salary. You've got employees. You've got all these headaches to deal with. And you've got to pay $1 million just to start it up. What sets us apart here with our system is that we are primarily a digital company. We focus on digital-based products in the information age or the digital age. Our profit margins are extremely high. Why is that? Well, we don't have the high custom fulfillment. Okay? We don't have to maintain a huge warehouse full of inventory with lots of people on staff. There isn't a need for shipping or the expensive costs of having something physically actually produced in a factory and sent out to the people. We don't have to worry about insurance and liabilities. That's the power of an online business model. It's really the ultimate profit model, okay? What this also allows us to do is pass on much higher profit margins to our partners, to our affiliates, people like you, so they can earn a very large commission. Here's an extremely important point. The economics of business today require that you have a top-tier high-ticket product or service. In other words, it requires that you have what we call a back end. Otherwise, it's very hard to be profitable. If you remember the Apple example I gave you, they have a front end, which is their iPhone, but they have all these other back ends, their iPads, their MacBook Pros, their 27-inch iMacs, and all of their software and all their accessories, right? One thing that I've seen since I've been in this industry is that is really the cost of advertising. It's only going in one direction, and I've only just seen it go up. That puts a lot of people in a dangerous position, no matter what they're promoting, whether it be jeans or, sunglasses, anything on Amazon, or digital products or information-based products. Okay, the cost of getting a customer is going up because you have to spend advertising to get that customer. Their business has a lifetime customer value that is staying the same, okay? So lifetime customer value is what a customer will spend over the lifetime with that particular company. Okay, now, what we've seen is that the lifetime customer value isn't going up, but the advertising costs are. So what does that mean? Well, the profit margins aren't really increasing at the same time either. In other words, their margins are getting squeezed, okay, by rising advertising costs, but their lifetime customer value is staying the same. So what do? Well, while we're on this topic, there's a lot of hype online about getting free traffic. The idea of being able to advertise your business for free. Here's the truth. Don't buy into it. I've seen it for 15 years. Everything has a cost. If we're talking about video marketing or SEO, search engine optimization, different ways of getting traffic that are so-called free methods, they're not really free because they take up your time, and your time is worth money. The other important point is free traffic is not leveraged. Paid traffic is. It's a must for real business growth. Think about it. What company do you know has grown into a huge profitable business without spending a single dime on advertising? There aren't too many out there. The other thing is, for those who have relied on SEO or Google to get their websites ranked and get traffic from Google, a lot of these people lost their entire incomes when Google decided to de-rank their websites for no apparent reason, because they had a recent update in their algorithm. Google still does this, and they do it very often. Even if you do maintain a top ranking in Google, okay, that's still not something you can really leverage, okay? With paid traffic, once you get a system that converts like ours, and you get traffic and gets you a profit, you can scale up an extremely profitable business with very little effort on your part. Here's the issue with low ticket offers. While rising advertising costs, and if you have a low ticket offer like I described, there's just no room for any profit. If you're selling jeans or sunglasses or something like that, if you have Amazon who's fighting, or your competitor, you are going to absolutely get crushed. Okay? If you're making $1,000, $3,000, $5,000, $9,000 in commissions or more, you've got plenty of profit left over to spend on advertising without worrying if your ad rates increase by a few dollars. But if it's just jeans and it's just, sunglasses, you have very thin, small margins, and you're not making a big profit off of those. So advertising's rising, but you can't really raise your costs because you're battling the other guy who's selling jeans or the other guy who's selling sunglasses, right? If your business can afford to spend the most to acquire a customer, well, then you win, okay? It is simple as that. It's not about how can I get the cheapest traffic. The question is, how can I afford to spend the most on targeting the best traffic? I hope you get that, because that's definitely a writer downer, okay? It's not about getting cheaper traffic. It's about being more profitable on the traffic that you're already getting. So again, a tiered product mix, having multiple products where you make multiple levels of profit, okay? Because advertising is still going to rise, but you have back-end products that are very profitable. That's how you stay in the game. That's how businesses win. That's exactly how wealthy and successful direct response marketers and business owners think. By the way, that's what you are now. You are a direct response marketer or business owner. If you're in business online, that's what you do. If you're selling a product for, say, $10, okay, notice the $10 in black, and you spend $15 to get that customer, then you've got a sale. So you spent $15 in advertising in the red, and you sell your product for $10, okay? Then guess what? You're $5 in the negative, okay? The only way that works is if you have a proven funnel and system in place that provides you profits on the back end, as you can see on the bottom left, that allows you to take a loss on the front end. Now, 98% of businesses don't get this. It's actually not that easy to put in place. But again, what you want to focus on is your advertising spend at $15. You're selling something for $10, you're -5. But if you have back-end products, like on the bottom left, you can be profitable. The front end is what you see on the top right where you're not. So those jeans and sunglasses, you're -5, right? But on the back end, if you have other products and services, that's where you become more profitable. Now, if you're making $5,000 and you spend up to $1,000 to acquire a $5,000 customer, okay, you're still $4,000 in profit. Now, again, I don't know about you, but I'd really be happy to spend $1,000 to make $4,000 every day, every hour, and every day of the week, right? Wouldn't you? I mean, even if I had to, I'd spend $750 to make a $1,000 sale. I'd still be making $250 in profit. I'd even spend $4,000 to make a $5,000 sale. As long as I knew that every time I spent that $4,000, I was getting $5,000 back, I would happily do that. Okay, so and again, the example here on the top right, you spend $15 in advertising on sunglasses or jeans, you're negative $5, but because you have back-end profits on the bottom left, you can spend $1,000 in advertising now, and you would sell a $5,000 or $1,000 or $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 product, and you would have profits in the green there at the $4,000 level. Okay, so that's the power of back-end profits. That's what you call printing money. Now with low ticket offers, it's really just not possible. It's not the fastest way to getting into wealth, okay? You need a top tier business model to do that. I hope you're seeing the difference here. No matter what you're considering selling, whether it be lotions, potions, pills in a network marketing company, or if you're on Amazon and you're selling sunglasses and jeans, okay? They have no back-end products, so you're not going to be profitable online. That's the key. I hope you're seeing the power of top tier and what sets the professionals apart from the rest of the people out there struggling to make any money at all. This is one major difference. The beauty of it is it doesn't require any extra work or effort on your part if you have someone else handling the back end. That's why we recommend that you get started right away with our high ticket top tier offer. Now, don't work your way up to it. Start from the very beginning, having your own top tier offer in place so you'll be able to get much more money from each customer than you bring into your business.